Hello, Troy A, Shadowing Chronics, taking part again in the Art Soundoff challenge and still trying to work with video recording software. I just realized a problem later. I'm going to end this. Okay. But in case you were just joining us, during the last week of Art Soundoff, I use the advantage of YouTube to show off a bit of the drawing. And that's what I'm doing this year by showing how I put together the Captain Yuletide cover. Now, I've already made the template for the cover itself, and we've already imported in the layout and started the penciling. I talked about my thoughts when it comes to penciling. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, though, over here in the corner, something else I do with this underdraw folder. As part of the auto action, I have it set. It's like set the entire folder is considered a draft layer. So if I go here, turn this off, it's all every layer here is now not a draft layer. But if I turn it on here, then they're all draft layers. I think I can. Yeah. What would that do? Make it a second draft layer? But if you see this little blue pen here, that pencil here, that makes it all a draft layer. That means that all the underdrawing will not show up in the final piece. So this whole underdrawing, when I put it into a PNG file or whatever, you won't see any of this. Now when I go to do the coloring, I usually just turn it off. And see, I can turn off the entire character just right now, just by clicking off the underdraw. But I need it in order to finish the picture. And I do need this light on. Okay. So if there's anything you take out of this last set of videos, is that folders are your friend. I can't speak to other software, but with Clip Studio Paint, definitely folders are my friend. So we're going to close the underdraw layer. Underdraw is done. I'm going to lock it. Well, I find myself unlocking these things more often than I'd like. So right now I got to unlock it because I got to do something else. Go back to the pencil layer. Make it blue. Now this pose blue. These are the same color. So wait a minute. I thought I had this softened a bit, like I did with. Remember when I had the 3D drawing? I turned down the opacity for when I went to do the final inking, and then I should have turned on the inking when I put it in when I did the pose too. Now I want the pencil. Now, but I want everything else to become further opaque along with it. So again, folders are your friend. Go to underdraw, and I can turn the opacity for the entire folder. So now I still got the penciling dominant, and I don't have to worry about going through and changing each different one to a different opacity in order to get it to work. I can make sure that the pencil the pose is has lower opacity than the pencil, and the 3D drawing doll has a lower opacity than the pose. That didn't come up, but in the end, it's a lot easier for me to just do everything with the underdraw. Now we're going to ink, and I'm just going to show you with Dr. Carbanoid rather than make the long video like I did before of showing each individual piece, because at this point nothing's really going to change other than how I draw them. So go to the ink layer, choose my pen tool. For Jake and Leon, I usually use the turnip pen, but for this style, I go for more for the G pen. And let's see, brush larger. Let's zoom in with control on my Parblo A610. And let's see here. So, the G pen, I can make a real thick line or make a really, conceivably, I can make a real thin line. It's not doing it today. This is one of the days it's not going to do that for me. Why? Because I'm doing things. Right. No, it's not doing it. Not doing it on a turnip pen either. I don't know why. There must be a setting I got wrong someplace. Out of this or on the, but it's okay. I'll just have to adjust as necessary. So I'm using this as a guide. It's a bit like each layer, as I said, is a different level of guide. The drawing doll is a certain level of is an early guide. The pose is the next guide, and the pencil is an even more is another guide, and each one has more detail than the last. This is going to have all the detail that I put in this art style, which isn't much in comparison to some, but this is where I cannot afford mistakes. If a line is going through another line, or if a pose is a bit different, this is the last place I had to fix it. This is the last line. So I'm going to start by just trying to get this to work. I'm going to draw the cybernetic port and a headpiece that he wears, and that's. I could try redrawing that again. That would be too much trouble. And no, I did not do this on purpose. So what I'm going to do is try and connect the lines this way. I don't know, they give me so many anchor points. Forget it. It actually would be easier to redraw it. With that many anchor points, it's easier to redraw it. That's the only problem I have with this thing, is it gives so many anchor points, and I don't know if it's because of my drawing or what it is. So it's here, try to make it there, yes. I can also use, I don't like the way this looks. Where is it? One of these, correct line, yeah. Go to correct line, redraw vector line, and it will fix the line up a bit. I want to look around that's coming out. The reason here is I'm not getting round shape of it. Let me see if I can fix this here. So many darn anchor points. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this has so many coming up with so many anchor points. Do I have to, can I reduce my anchor point count, because this is getting ridiculous. Main color, brush size, ink, brush tip. More control points, move control points, and scale rotate. No, I don't know what I'm doing there. Man, he's got so many of these control points, and I don't need. See all these little dots? They're all little control points. You can click here and you can drag them around, but there's so many that it screws me up. So this is something that because I'm not moving the ones that I want, and I've got to keep moving over and over. If somebody knows a way to limit these control points a bit, let me know, because I'm getting tired of playing this game with this That's gonna have to be good enough. Still not good enough. Gotta put this game and then I just want this a little more rounded. Make it more round. This isn't working. I'm gonna try the redraw again. Okay, this is see that worked, but how come I'm not getting having trouble? Is it me? Let me try something here. There we go. Sometimes it just requires a change of perspective. Yeah, that's more. That looks more like what I want. Let me save before I do something wrong. Remember, save early, save often. So now I got the headpiece the way I want it. Now, looking at my thing on Dr. Carbanoid, and waiting for this thing to finish writing to file. His nose, I got him pointier in the layout, probably by accident because I wasn't paying that close attention. Here, the nose has got to be pointier. So, nose, here's the mouth. Since I can't seem to get the pressure to work today, I'm just going to make this thinner line. Gritting his teeth. Darn you, superhero! Yeah. I'm gonna die. Now I draw this completely in the end of it. Pressure sensitivity. Maybe it's just not on this computer. On this computer that I'm having trouble with the pressure sensitivity. Could be the. This is. It could be the software. There's a little earpiece. Like, I'm pretty heavy-handed to begin with, but this is ridiculous even for that. So, yeah. I like to take the outermost part of the picture and put that in first. I see people doing ones on the inside first and doing the outside. Kind of a foreground, background thing. I mean, you can see it even here in the folders with the character layout. Dr. Carbanoid is up front. Bryce is a bit closer to us. Captain Yuletide is even further back, and then this thing here will be even further back than that. So it makes me easier to do kind of a foreground background thing with the layers. Since I put everybody on his own layer, and there's nothing can be supposed to have more broader shoulders than I ruin the thing. See, that's what I mean about fixing the problems here. The arm itself is more of a box shape. It's connected apparently to a round. That's the way I seem to have drawn it. I kind of like it that way, so we're going to stick with it. We're going to pretend I'm right. And we draw this. Let's be right over the top of his. His shirt and his pants are the same color, but subdivisions are more for my sake than anything else. There. Stop there, and we'll draw the arm going that way. And then we have the thumb that's in front. One finger, two fingers, 3 fingers, 4. 4 fingers make a hand, and so does the thumb more. Okay, so there we go. Now what I'll do is before I go to color, I will turn off the underdraw entirely, and I will also be turning off the layout. Actually, I'll probably keep the layout out. I don't think I need it anymore until I go to do the thing here I don't want to spoil. You can see here, now we've got Dr. Carbanoid all set and ready to go. And that's really it. I mean, inking is just a point of trying to make sure I get everything right. And even then, admittedly, I don't have the fish right. He's not quite holding it the way you would when you're angry, but at this point I'm going to kind of just realize how terrible an artist I am and let that go for now. As I get better, maybe I'll figure out how to do that. I can't do it with my hand right now because I got the glove on, and he doesn't wear a glove. He just has this here will end. It actually ends with a robot claw. But I think that came out pretty good, and I'm gonna follow the same practice with Captain Yuletide and with Bryce. And then so the underdraw layer is all turned off. Bryce, I still need. With Bryce, we'll do the same thing. Make this also blue line. I thought I made these pose lines thinner. I should make the pose line thinner so that I can. I usually do that. For some reason, I didn't do that here. So I'll close out on Bryce. I want to turn my pages here so I can find Bryce's character model. There we are. So I can try to draw him correctly. Got to set up the underdraw layer. So I don't have the 3 layers competing. I don't have to worry about, like, if I did the pose all the way up now. Now it's there and it's kind of ghosting. And it's kind of distracting. So put that down to where it was. Then I put the pencil down where it was. That way I can see the inks better. So, I forgot to turn things. I gotta check the pressure sensitivity on here. Sometimes it gets screwed up and I don't know why. I'll probably do the comic on the other computer because I don't have that problem until up here. So I gotta figure out. No, still too thick, still too big. Still too big. Not supposed to be the size of it. Oh, it is the size of his eye almost. Okay. Never mind then. We do. Fun. Never mind, it's still terrible. Sometimes they zoom out in order to make a better circle. It's gonna be. I'm not that great with the pressure to begin with because I'm so heavy-handed. This is bad even for me because the thing isn't working right. Let's see where the ears go. And it should be drawn like this. Cleaner than I had in the. See, this is what I mean about cleaning up my mistakes. Let me turn the logo off again. See, the entire logo is gone, so that makes it so much easier. I don't have to try turning off every little thing. Close this, it's distracting me. And that's the thing too. I can close the folder. and everything in here is not distracting me anymore. Now I can only see the folder that I'm working, only open the folder I'm working on, which is marked with the character name, and then I can see what I'm doing. Okay. I read somewhere, I think, that it's the female reindeer that gets the male reindeer get antlers or something like that. Should be thinner. Mine should be thinner than theirs. But again, the pressure sensitive isn't working. So I am getting better with pressure sensitivity, just not seeing it here, because this computer is better for recording. Something else I gotta learn to do sometimes is learn to stop so that if I don't get too far ahead, so if I screw up, I don't have to start over as far. There is also a setting on here that you can use that as you close in, the pen will alter the brush size to match. And I'm considering trying that, but I'm worried at some point that's gonna, like turning off the saving thing, that's gonna come back to bite me at some point, or maybe it'll work better. Maybe I'll try that at some point when I'm doing the comic this year. That's not right now. I'll try going from. Okay, he should actually. Yeah, it should actually go a little underneath that. I think it was Pop Rock Studios that said it's actually easier to go drag up than it is drag down, and maybe he's right. That was a lot easier. That should be thinner. Here's one to release this one line. No, that's not the line I wanted to release. Go ahead. Zoom in a bit more. I just want to get rid of this area here, because that was too long, and I'm going to play this game up here. A little bit. Oh yeah, that looks better. Then his collar over his neck, and it's gonna little circle things just to give it just not just kind of look like the reindeer collar that maybe Santa has on his reindeer, not like a slave collar. So a little decorative. So this, what happened? Okay, where are we going glitchy again? Okay, so yep. Okay, so I tried the style I use here is something similar to like I'm not trying to exactly replicate the Rankin Bass puppets, but it's kind of the inspiration. I want to look a little muscular, like I don't want to be like big bulge like this. So let me start over. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I use the buttons on the pad, depending on what I'm in here. A little better. I still screwed up. These lines should have been shorter, and these lines should have been longer. Let's see. Make this line a little shorter. And I'll make this line a little longer. This is why I like digital drawing, because I can use it to help pick up my shortcomings, and I have a lot of them. I don't get crazy with the layering. Like I'm not going to take a separate layer for the cape or something, unless there's a certain reason I have to. So cape, so you can't really see his tail. See part of his body. And then before I try to draw the other half of the body, let me draw first. Was this supposed to be? Yeah, this is actually supposed to be more separate. We'll play this game again. Play this game again. Play this game again too. See, I know if I turn off the recovery information, that's going to hurt me. That's the same worry that I have with trying to get the trying to make it like look a little more super rugged. Okay. Screw that there. I really don't know my musculature that well, so that's why I'm kind of struggling here. Yeah, I'm not too good with the human musculature. I'm not going to be able to figure out animal musculature nearly as well. So now we have the line goes around here, so here, and then the white patch goes. His white patch goes around his belly down that way. And I'm going to try to put a little bit of his tail coming out, just because I like having the fact that he's got a tail. I don't know why, but he's got a tail. Let's. Problem is, I got the lines too thin again. I can't get to the shift key. Okay, there we go. Okay, we want to select this. Okay. Stop it. Try to turn and bring select more lines. Give up. Maybe I did. Goes down again. I think there's a way I can do this like a multiple select. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, sake. What? I don't want the hooves. The hooves are fine. I just want to make these lines thicker. Get too close to it if he's wanting to do the rotate thing, which I don't looking to rotate it. I'm looking to select. See what I mean about creating so many control points? It's frustrating. Okay, all the other lines. No, wait, no, one line. All the other lines are fine. I don't want them any thicker. This one I want them a little bit thicker. So let's see here. What's a little better? This is what I wanted. I could do this easier if I could reach the keyboard and I could actually do these settings manually, but the problem is this setup I can't. But, I go back to pen. No. Objects. Okay, well you get the general idea of how I do this, because I can't do this when I can't get to the, or when I can't get to the keyboard. I'm going to have to move this out of the way just so I can stop recording. So this was not the right program. So I'm thinking maybe this isn't the right program after all. But that's one of the things I'm trying to learn. Which screen program to work on. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up. I'm going to get Captain Yuletide here all cleaned up and on, and then tomorrow we'll get into the next phase, which is the coloring. And I'm going to show you a few tools that I've not seen in any other Clip Studio Paint coloring on any of the tutorials. This is more of a how I do it than a tutorial. But I'm going to show you some tools that you don't get to see on there, and maybe you can explain to me why nobody uses them. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do this if I can. Let's do it with the mouse. Let me see here. Is it because no, that's I'm on the wrong mode. Wrong mode. The ones I'm really worried about is the body here. Work on this here. Oh yeah, I'm on the right track here. I just gotta work everything else to compensate. But I think you got the general idea. So tomorrow everybody will be drawn, and we can go into the final phase and the coloring. In the meantime, if you want to check out what else is going on with Art Soundoff, here's some really great discussions on creation, character ideas, and everything else. Go to Twitter and look for the hashtag ArtSoundoff. And if you want to be part of this at some point, go to artsoundoff.com. I'll tell you how to set things up. And you can do one day and still be part of the challenge. And if you want to see what I'm going to do, see the finished product of this comic besides this cover, you can go to bwspotlight.com. But until then, I wish you all happy creating.